Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Conversation Unboxed. As you all know, my name remains Dami, and I hope you guys enjoyed the last episode with David, where he shared with us his Japa experience, life in Nigeria, life before leaving Nigeria, and life after landing in the United States. Today we'll be talking with Kevwe. Kevwe will share his own experience as well, which I feel is a lot different from David's experience, totally different from David's experience. I'm not going to give too much info. I want you guys to watch it and enjoy it and watch it to the very end. Please, guys, watch it to the very end and give a thumbs up and, comments and subscribe to the channel if you're also new on the channel as well. But not to talk too much, I'll let you guys go watch and enjoy.
Hi everyone, my name is Kevwe Idimi. I'm a Nigerian currently working in the United States as an IT support analyst. I've been here for about 9 years now. So I just want to thank Dami for this opportunity to come and interview and just share my own story and my own perspective. It all started from, just a little backstory, it all started from when I first wrote my JAM exam and I flunked really badly. My dad was like, no, this is bad. Of course, he said it in the Nigerian way. I'm just dumbing it down a little bit. But yeah, when I wrote my JAM exam, it was bad. And I think it was then I realized that, look, I don't think this is the environment I can be in. Shortly during that period, my school was offering a trip to the United States for a soccer camp. And so I tagged along. My dad said, okay, go ahead, just go enjoy your time, I tagged along. And during that time, a coach saw me. I was like, oh, look, I like you, you're good, why don't you come play for my school? And I saw that like as a huge opportunity because that was like my chance to finally go to university, without having to deal with the system of the Nigerian educational system. I went back to Nigeria and I told my dad and he said, are you sure? I can never forget. He said, are you sure? And I said, yes, I want to do this. And that was how my journey of wanting to come to the United States started. Financially, I wasn't really involved because I was a young kid. I didn't know the intricacies of what was really happening. But emotionally and logistically, I had to deal with making sure, because my dad is like, you want to do this, you have to prove to me you can do it. So all the admission application, all the documentation, I did it all by myself. If there was any information I didn't know, I had to go out and find it myself. So that whole process of having to do that as a young kid, as a 16, 17-year-old, was very tasking, I mean, in hindsight, I'm looking at myself now, I'm like, oh wow, that's actually impressive. But yeah, I had to do that all by myself, having to figure out what information I needed, what documents, and also I had to work with an agent who was helping me to answer all the questions I needed, what I needed to do and all the processes I need to take. So emotionally, I was excited to this is great. And logistically, it was tasking, but it was a challenge. And I enjoyed every minute of it. I think, like I said, I was a young kid when I did this whole process. And so just the dealing with my anxiety of being denied after all this hard work I put in was very, very, intense. So just dealing with my anxiety was the biggest challenge I had to face because there were rumors and, things about getting a visa into America. It was tough. Everybody knows this. As a Nigerian, coming to America is hard. So just having that mentality and having to deal with okay, after all this work, I hope I don't get denied. I was having to navigate my emotions. Okay, I need to do this, make sure all my I's are dotted, all my T's are crossed, no mistakes on my application, making sure that all my documents are ready so that when that day will come, I won't get denied. So that was my biggest challenge. Like I said earlier, so I worked, I got football, I got scouted and I came to the US to play football. And that was way, so because of the coach liked me, he was like, okay, come to play for my school. And that kind of made my admission process a little bit more smoother. So it was through football. After I got to the US, while playing football, going to school, you still need some income because it's not easy. Even if my dad was also, supporting me financially, but you would come to realize that the cost of living in America is not what you think it is. It is expensive. So my dad was supporting me financially, but I still needed extra. So in the US, you are allowed to work as a part-time student, 20 hours. So I went to reach out to my coach. Hey, can you help me? What can I do? The school allows you to work on campus. All you need to do is find the specific location where they are applying. Sometimes it's going to be on the student websites, and then apply for the jobs. But you have to do the hard work. You have to go to these locations and talk to them and say, hey, I can see you're applying. What do I need to do? What are the requirements? How can I get in? Some people will tell you what exactly you need to do, and also people appreciate the amount of energy you put in. They say, okay, you know what? You came to meet us. Let us walk you through the process and we'll just hire you on the spot. That's how it works. You have to put in the work and, put in the steps and it will work out for you. Integrating into the society as a kid was was very difficult because coming from a very conserved culture like Nigeria to a more open and kind of unlimited freedom in some way was having to set boundaries, morals, knowing what to do and what not to do, when to do and when not to do. A lot of things could have pushed me astray, but just having that teaching of like, okay, I need to focus. There's a lot of distractions, a lot of things that are going to push you off, your railings. But just having that mindset, okay, look, I know where I'm from, I know what I need to do, I'm coming to do what I have to do, to make my parents proud. At least that was the mindset I had as a kid. So I kind of stayed on course and like, okay, look, I need to study, I need to get my stuff together and just make sure that I know I'm making my parents proud. But there were a lot of distractions, going to parties all the time. Every weekend, I had a friend, I'll not mention his name, but I had a friend who always like, bro, there's this party, let's go. And me too, I'm like trying to, be cordial, be friendly, and like, oh, let's go. After you do that for a month, 2 months, your body's going to tell you otherwise. So just being able to make sure that you stick to your morals and just stick to your home training is very important because there are a lot of distractions. People go astray easily, so it's just best to like maintain where you came from. I'm sure I have, but I don't think I have recognized it. In my mind, I'm like, oh, it's just another day, or just somebody being silly type of thing. I don't really count it as like discrimination, or I guess I don't understand fully what is happening at that time. So I would say no, I haven't received any form of like racial discrimination, but I'm sure it has probably happened that people will classify it as racial discrimination, but I don't. I just see it like someone just being acting silly. So, that's a beautiful question because now you can studying the growth from when I started to now, I can tell the huge difference in my livelihood. In Nigeria, not a lot of things I would consider I would have to pay for because once you build your house, you build your house. Once you have solar in Nigeria, you have solar in Nigeria. You don't have to worry. Once you have your generator, you can monitor or rate the amount of consumption you have in your house. In terms of feeding, you have more opportunities to grow your own food. And of course, even buying food, is cheaper. America you pay for everything. You pay for the oxygen you breathe in America. You pay for everything. You pay rent. Rent is expensive. The feeding cost is expensive. You pay for car. You pay for insurance on the car. You pay for your health insurance. You pay for every single thing. And so just the sheer cost just to live in America, is out of this world. So if I compare my livelihood in Nigeria versus here, I would say it is more expensive to live here. But I would always want to live in America any day, anytime, because it's functioning. There's one thing to live in a functioning society than a society that's not functioning. I'd rather pay the bills where the society is functioning than not pay the than say, oh, I'm living my life and then the society is not functioning. You know, I can say, okay, I'm sick today. I'll go to the hospital and I'll get a treatment, emergency treatment. Than when I go to the hospital and say, oh, I have to pay money to get treatment. Nah, that's something else, you know. So cost of living is easier. I mean, food is cheaper in Nigeria. Food is expensive here, but I am always rest assured that I'm going to get food whenever I go here. You understand? So I think when it comes to cost of living, it's more expensive here. You know, you have to properly plan to live here, but you are rest assured that if you actually go the right path and the correct channels, you can survive. You know, you just have to work hard. That's all you have to do. I would always say it was the best decision I ever made for myself. It gave me a broader idea and a greater perspective on life. And not only life, it showed me opportunities that my country does not have. You know, if I were ever to decide to go back to Nigeria, I would take those opportunities and those lessons I have learned in America, and I would take them and instill them back in my country. But I will always say this: go to where the money resides. That's just a fact. I wish somebody to kind of explain to me what the cost of living was like. You know, people think that you just come here and when you come to America, you just start making money. No. You're going to receive a rude awakening, a rude awakening, because when you come in right off the bat, no one is going to cater to your needs. There's no help like Nigeria. Oh, let me help you. And no, it doesn't work like that. Right off the bat, you're going to start paying bills. And so you need to be able to figure out your finances right off the bat. So the one thing I wish someone told me was how much it really costs to live in America, and, you know, showed me this is what you need exactly to be here. And then I will now decide for myself whether I need to stay longer before I come so I can save more money, or whether I just need to delay whatever my dream fantasy was at that time, you know. But I would always say, if you can come, but you have to plan properly. You have to budget right and you have to save a lot of money. Don't come here when you don't have the right resources. You're going to ruin yourself mentally, emotionally, and physically. That's a good question. You know, to answer that question, I don't see myself as someone that would not have been able to grow, you know, in the last few years. But yes, I have. I have grown mentally, physically, and in all ways, I would never imagine myself growing. America has built me and shaped me up to be a better person than I have been, than I was, and I could have been if I stayed in Nigeria. Financially, I am in a much suitable position because I had the resources to build myself up. I studied, made sure I did the right thing. I went to school, got the education, and actually applied myself in the society. And so because of my hard work, I was rewarded. So yes, financially, I put myself in a better position I would have been if I was in Nigeria. Hey! Let's see. First of all, I would say plan properly. Financially is the key thing. Make sure you have your resources in check. You don't want to come here empty-handed. You don't want to come here on a flimsy amount of money. You want to make sure you do your research to know where exactly you're going to be, what it's going to cost you for at least a year. You want to plan for at least a year in advance. If you don't have up to a year, at least, make sure that you have a plan that when you get here, you're going to at least get a job. You don't want to come here with the hopes. Hopes is going to kill you if you don't. If you have hopes and dreams is what's going to kill you. Come here with a plan. Come here with what you know what you're going to do, and then execute that plan. Budget accordingly. Make sure you have a budget that's going to last you for at least a year. If you don't have a year, 6 months. But you always have a plan to know how you're going to grow moving forward. Don't take on more than you can chew. Don't say, oh, you're going to come here and say you're going to, rely on somebody. There's no one that you can rely on here. I'm just going to break the news to you. Your uncle, your father-in-law that he said you should come, he will not support you. Your mother-in-law, your auntie, your uncle, They will not support you. In fact, they will be the ones to kick you to the dogs. So I would say plan properly and make sure that you are, financially ready for this place. And, be positive. Be positive. Reach out, ask questions. People know more than you do. Don't be proud. And I think you'll be able to make it in America. Omo, that's a very fantastic question. But I think home is where I've been here since I was a kid. I've started seeing America as home. And so I don't have any current plans on returning back home. I plan to spend the rest of my years here, but I will be visiting as my home country as much as possible. Because, Nigeria is still home. I would always want to go back and visit, but I've built my life in America. And so it is very, very difficult now as an adult to just make that transition. So I don't have any foreseeable plan on moving back to Nigeria anytime soon. Yes, I think it's still relevant. It is very, very relevant. Considering the state of the country, I think it's relevant. But there's a twist. Like I've said before, you need to plan properly. The cost of living and the rate of inflation is taking everyone by shock this time around. So you need to do proper preparation before you decide to Japa. But I think it's very relevant. Like, the money is still here. Whether people like it or not, it's the truth. The money is still here. If you say you want to come and gather resources here, I think that's not a bad idea. Come here, gather your resources, and go back home and build the life that you want. In my opinion, I think that's a beautiful plan. But if you say you just want to leave Nigeria because you don't want to have anything to do with it, that's still fine. I'm not opposed to it. But coming here, gather your resources, and going back home is the best thing you can possibly do for yourself. I did. It kind of made me think about things about my past that I haven't really thought about. I had to dig deep. But yes, it was fun. I really liked it, and I really hope to see this on air, to watch myself, give this back and, help people, look forward to doing things for themselves.
All right, thank you guys so much for watching to the very end. I really appreciate it. If you guys have something to say, please put it in the comment section. I would go over it, I'll respond, I'll react on it, share your own opinions as well. And also, if you're willing to share your experience as well, let me know. We will find a way or two to, do an interview, get you guys as well on the show. We will do something about it. So let me know what your thoughts are. And yeah, up next, we're also going to be having somebody, Victoria, share on experience as well. So that will be dropping in the next episode. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for liking, and thank you guys for subscribing to the channel as well. Thank you and bye.
So I feel like emotionally I was good, but unfortunately my first visa was denied because I didn't have home ties. So that was a bit of like a tough time for me.